One of my favorite things about gardening is that it keeps reminding me that just because one season didn't go as you planned doesn't mean you've missed your chance. And if you didn't get anything in the ground this spring, it is still not too late to start. Today, I'm planting my fall garden, harvesting a few things that are ready, and getting prepared for another season. Everyone thinks that late July gardening is over. It's not, baby. We're gonna plant our fall crop. Let me show you what I got going in. This bed had a whole bunch of lettuces that I pulled out a couple weeks ago. I've amended the soil, let it sit for a couple weeks, and now we're gonna sow some more lettuces in here. This garlic is pretty much ready to come out. I wanted to let it sit for another week or two because I just cut the scapes and I wanted to give it a little bit more time to send all of its energy back into the bulb. But these are pretty much ready to come out. These are some of the seeds that I've saved from last season, but this is what I'm gonna be planting for the lettuces. The crisp mint romaine. I'm gonna do some carrots for the fall. Black seeded Simpson, I love this lettuce. Some spinach. Green beans from 2024 apparently. We'll try some. And then my blush snap peas. And then Lola Rosa, I really love this lettuce too. So we're gonna do a little chaos gardening. I got my bed all cultivated. You just wanna go through, kind of turn over the top layer. That will cut off any of the little weeds that are growing. It'll expose their roots to air so they won't continue to grow. Got my crisp mint romaine, my Lola Rosa, and my black seeded Simpson. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little handful all over the bed and let them grow together. It's one of my favorite ways to grow lettuce. Now I'm just gonna lightly kind of tousle it into that top layer of dirt. Water these in lightly. Growing lettuces are one of the easiest things that you can grow in your garden, and it's also so rewarding. You can go out and get fresh lettuce every morning, every day. It's cut and come again, and then you know where your things are being grown, and you know that you're not going to have to deal with E. coli in your salad mixes. Now once these sprout and grow a couple inches, I'll be able to come in and mulch them with my straw mulch, and they will be all nice and cozy. Let's move on to the next bed. And then this bed over here, we just need to cultivate a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these garlic. They're looking like they're ready. I feel like they're gonna be pretty small, but that's okay. Small garlic is still garlic. Okay. Before I move on to planting more fall crops, I wanted to show you real quick how I'm drying my garlic this year. I found this wire basket at the thrift store and I thought it would be perfect for my garlic, and it is. I'm just making sure to not overcrowd the bulbs, and I'm giving them some space in between for airflow. When you're drying your garlic, you want to knock off as much dirt as possible, but you don't want to wash them. Leave the leaves on so the bulb can draw all that energy up into itself. For this next bed, I'm going to do rough sections for my seeds. This first 2 foot by 2 foot section is going to be for my fall carrots. Carrots can tolerate a mild frost, and they actually get sweeter if they do get a little chilly. This next section is for spinach. I'm tossing a couple handfuls of mixed spinach seeds that I've been collecting over the past few harvests. It's always great to let a few of your plants go to seed at the end of the season so you can collect the seeds for your next crop. This is honestly just as rewarding as growing the actual plant the first time. Beans are a really great fall crop because they mature pretty quickly. So if you plant them now, there's still plenty of time to enjoy another harvest before frost. Beans are also legumes, which means they help fix nitrogen in your soil. After I harvest them, I leave the roots in the ground so they can continue feeding that soil when they break down. All right, so I have my spinach here in the middle. I have carrots over here. I got some beans over there from 2024. We'll see if they are viable. And then over here, I'm gonna do some more beans. I have some Royal Burgundy Bush. These are really good. Provider Bush, and then the Blue Lake 274. So I made some little labels because I want to let these go to seed and then save the seeds this fall. These are, well, it doesn't really matter what labels you get, but this is the best pen, the CD marker. It has the regular felt tip, and then it has the fine point tip. This is the only marker that I found that actually the ink stays. It doesn't get bleached out by the sun, and it doesn't go dry. So it comes in this, the pen comes with this. These little tiny things came with something else, but I like the bigger tags. All right, so we got some pink Swiss Chard. We got some Ford Hook Giant Swiss Chard, some endive, collards, and then 3 types of kale, Dino, Red Russian, and then the Scarlet. So I'm gonna mix these in the holes of the rest of the beds, where I pulled out a lot of those ground cherries, I'll probably sprinkle some collards and kale throughout so those holes can fill in. I think I have a little hole over here where I can put some more kale. Yeah, we could put some right in here. Now, if you are not taking out like a whole bed and fully amending your soil, add some more like little fertilizer. I really like this to spell with plant tone. Hey, buddy boy. So I just kind of sprinkle it around and then work it into the soil. And then this will be a nice fertilizer. I'm gonna do some Russian red kale in here, sprinkle around a few seeds, work it into the top layer, and that's it. That is it. We got scarlet kale, dino kale, and red Russian kale. I love planting kale because you can harvest from it for so long, and then I like to freeze it, and then I can eat from it all winter long. There's nothing more satisfying than eating from your frozen stash or your canned stash all winter. This year I was really focused on flowers, so I have a ton of calendula and a ton of straw flowers. These are all the seeds that I saved from last year. Calendula is a really great thing to grow. You can harvest these and make teas out of them. Just collected a little bowl of calendula. I'm gonna dry these and then we'll make an oil infusion later that I can turn into like a wound healing cream. Then also some tea. There's so many volunteers that popped up in the gravel, but I just left them. This is the straw flower, and there's some snapdragons over here. If you ever decide to grow ground cherries, I would highly recommend growing them in a pot. I had one ground cherry plant over here, and these are all volunteers. I mean, once you start to grow ground cherries, you can't get rid of them. These are taking over the bed. I gotta get them out of here. Now we can see my beautiful snapdragons, and pretty sure this is a garlic. Yep, there is a garlic hiding in there. There's a scabiosa bud. This is it in full bloom, and then this is what they look like when they drop all of their leaves and go to seed. These are actually really cool in arrangements, and they look great on the plant, but I usually like to deadhead them so they produce more flowers, and then towards the end of the season I will let them dry on the plant, and then I'll harvest seeds. This is borage. This is one of those old like witchy medicinal plants where you can harvest the flowers and make a tea out of them, and it's really good for fertility. That's why I like to come out here daily and collect my little flowers. I dry them and then I make a tea out of them. Zinnias are looking great. I don't really have any cucumbers yet. It is late July. I got a couple tomatoes. There's a couple that are ripe, but a lot of my veggies aren't ready yet. We got a tiny little cukie coming on. I'm gonna show you the mistake I made. It's a really good idea to intermix flowers in with your veggies because you're gonna be bringing pollinators in to pollinate your fruit, right? Well, my tomatoes are tucked in here and they're being crowded out by these giant marigolds. I thought I was growing these. You see how they're only about maybe 8 inches tall? These like little mini dwarf marigolds. But apparently I was growing these. These are massive and my tomatoes aren't getting any sun. I did the same thing over here. All of my peppers. Oh, I got one purple pepper. All of my peppers are in the middle, crowded out by these massive marigolds. So I'm gonna have to move some of these marigolds if I want any peppers at all. We got one cucumber. So these right here, these really like pretty lime green flowers. These are called bells of Ireland. They're really pretty, but I probably won't grow them again because can you see between the leaves? There's these little spikes. There's like little cactus spikes. Those things are so sharp and they hurt. This is chamomile, like for chamomile tea. The leaves themselves smell like green apples. It's one of like my favorite smells in the garden. But I would grow it in a container because can you see? It's literally taken over. I had one little plant here last year and it's spread through the whole bed and it's kind of taken over. So I'll probably dig it up, put it in a pot, and grow it in a pot next year. And then if you are gonna grow a lot of chamomile, I would definitely recommend getting like a chamomile harvester instead of picking each individual flower by itself. You could just kind of like rake it through. I'd probably get one of those for next year. I do have some asters. I didn't know that those were gonna come up. So all of these little plants in the gravel are snapdragons. They're all volunteer from snapdragons from last year. So if you have a stalk that has older flowers on it, these are the seed pods. And then when these, you know, flop over in the wind, they spread their seed around, and then you get them all growing through your gravel. But I like them. I just left them. Whatever, it's fine. See all of my massive marigolds, which I thought I was growing dwarf ones. In between are all of my pepper plants. So I think I might just take these out and put them in pots because my peppers aren't getting any sun. And I do have enough, I have about 89 days left of growing season. If they can get some more sun, I'll get some peppers. But they're definitely not going to produce if they're not going to get any sun. Hey, look, a cucumber. Wow. Is that grasshopper in there? Get it. So many grasses. Japanese beetle. No. Get out of here. Oh no, there's another one. Oh no, I need some beetle bags. Something I think that I will always and forever have in my garden is amaranth. This is actually a grain, so you can mill it down and make flour, but it's just so pretty. I love it. It's so pretty. I like to put one like in the middle of my bed. It's just stunning, especially next to this white scabiosa. Love, love, love it. And then nasturtiums are so sweet. I'll probably always have nasturtium. What are you? This is a sumac tree. Get out of here. I really like this zinnia. I'm pretty sure it's either the Envy or the Isabellina. This is Isabellina, and then like the more limey green is the Envy. But I think that's probably coming off the same stalk. Did you just eat that grasshopper? Jackson, did you eat it? Oh my gosh. He literally just ate a grasshopper. Gross. Was it good? Okay. Thanks for hanging out in the garden with me and getting my fall crops planted. I wish you the best of luck on your garden, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.